to Honorable Shri Ashok Bhushan Ji, Honorable Shri Justice Arjun Sikri Ji, the Chairperson of the Global Advisory Board of ILA, Shri Amitabh Kant Ji, our keynote speaker of the day, and my dear friend Scott Atkins. Just 3-4 minutes, not more, on what Insolvency Law Academy is. We are holding our inaugural conference just about 8 months from the time that we were conceived. A very short time, but we were confident that we have generated and produced enough content to be able to share at this conference and obtain your feedback as experts and as the market. At ILA, our focus is essentially, as a think tank, as a research institution, to innovate, to research, to produce best practices, and one of my favorites, to create a formidable community of scholars in insolvency in this country. And as I mentioned, at the cost of sounding terribly immodest, that we have in the last 8 months made significant progress, as much as Dr. Sahu mentioned in his public comment that we are very rapidly emerging as the 5th pillar of the IBC framework, being the first out of the 5 that emerges from the market as the best practices producer, as standard-setting body, as something which lays the foreground for self-regulation and higher standards in the entire insolvency industry. And it is just a matter of chance. In fact, it's a great coincidence as well that our keynote speaker, who's all of you, I'm sure you know, the G20 Sherpa, that Insolvency Law Academy was conceived actually around a paper that was done for or in anticipation of the presidency, Indian presidency of G20, where we were discussing in the room of Dr. Bibek Deb Roy, the chairman to the Economic Advisory Council to the Honorable Prime Minister, as to what should we do around the G20 presidency to showcase and share the great work that has been done over the last 7 years. And as a thought of that, one of the outcomes that emerged was that while a significant amount has been done by the government or government-led institutions that have been created, which obviously would make a great case to showcase, but of course, what was missing was a formidable market-based institution, a non-governmental institution. And that is how it was conceived, and in about 8 months' time, here we are for you, and also to share with Mr. Amitabh Kant as well. And I'm sure, sir, I'll reach out to you separately also to share what work we have done. I just wanted to make 2 housekeeping announcements that we have. ILA is a paperless conference, paperless organization. We have produced an app which please download. The QR codes are at the back of your batch name labels. You'll be able to access all the information about this conference and about ILA there, and I'll skip the liberties, therefore, to make those introductions, including taking the liberty of not reading out the biographies of the very eminent and illustrious people on the desk, on the dais right now, and also who would follow during the day as our speakers. They are elaborately mentioned on the app, so please feel free to look at that. And if you have any difficulty downloading, please feel free to speak to any of my colleagues here. Please keep your phones on silent. We expect every session to follow the timeline strictly. We have a very big event in the evening also, which is in another location, and therefore we need time for people to move there as well. Finally, I just wanted to mention that we have a very small team at ILA, just 2 young ladies who have put together this mighty conference, supported by very young volunteers, as well as, of course, support from Aditi Khanna on the logistics. She works with Insol India, and therefore I'm very thankful to her and to Insol India as well, because as far as this experience is concerned, I mean, there's no better organization than Insol India to provide that support. On the technical content side and organizing, touching base with the speakers, delegates, all that massive work has been done by Vedai and Mehreen, two of my colleagues, very young research associates, but a great experience for them as well. And therefore, at this point in time, may I straight away request Justice Sikri to deliver his address. He is obviously a co-host of this conference, being the chairperson of the Global Advisory Board, and has been guiding us from the day one, because he's the first person I went to as soon as we decided that we need to set up this. So, over to you, sir.